Welcome to Transform Now, the podcast brought to you by robotic process automation pioneer Blue Prism. Digital transformation has the potential to reshape the way companies service their customers, engage their employees, and manage their operations. Whether you're looking to develop strategies, tactics, and best practices to positively impact the future of work, or you're curious to learn how other companies have successfully navigated their digital transformation programs, then this podcast is for you. We're here to help you transform now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Hairston with Blue Prism. Welcome to the Transform Now podcast. Today, I am excited to have as my guest Melissa Burroughs, the head of technology solutions for Alteryx, the analytics automation company, and a brand new technology alliance partner for Blue Prism. Melissa and I will be discussing just what it means to bring analytic process automation and robotic process automation together. Melissa, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Brad. It is a pleasure to be here.
Great. So why don't we start with you telling us about your role at Alteryx, and while you're at it, please go ahead and give us a high-level description of what Alteryx is all about before we dive into the details. Sound good?
Sure. Yeah, no, that sounds great. So to put it simply, I describe myself as a sort of analytics advocate for Alteryx. It's a lot of alliteration, but I like it. And I really dream about democratizing data science and analytics to every data worker. You see, at Alteryx, our vision is to enable every person to transform data into a breakthrough. We do this by unifying analytics, data science, and business process automation in one end-to-end platform to help accelerate digital transformation. Our unified platform and self-service, easy-to-use interface differentiates Alteryx from any other analytics or data science solution on the market.
Excellent. Melissa, I also noticed that you have 2 degrees in physics, including a master's from Stanford. Why is it that people who are good at physics are also good at data and analytics? Can you solve that mystery for me?
I think that's great that you found that out about me, Brad. Well, I have to say that the sciences, especially empirical physics, it all runs on data. You're not going to find your next big discovery if you're not an excellent data analyst, data gatherer, data thinker, and smart about your statistics, because data is where the insight is. That's how you get results.
Yep, I'm with you. Well, just to set the stage here, it is definitely a timeless problem for all organizations, how to get from data to insights quickly and effectively. Prior to Blue Prism, I spent about 15 years doing consulting in the BI and the analytics space, and I remember quite well how the data work was always the critical path for any BI project that I was involved in. The data extract, the transform, the load activities, that was always the most difficult and time-consuming work. And I recall the tools were not that easy to use. Now, you guys show up on the scene and you provide a no-code analytics platform for automating and transforming data-driven tasks. That's pretty impressive. I'm definitely eager to learn more about it. So let me start here. My understanding is that at Alteryx, you describe your solution as analytic process automation. What exactly does that mean?
Good question. Yeah, Alteryx Analytic Process Automation, which is a mouthful. We often call it just APA. APA unifies analytics, data science, and process automation in that, like I mentioned, that one end-to-end platform to help organizations accelerate their digital transformation and rapidly upskill the modern workforce. And we do this by providing hundreds of automation building blocks. Therefore, data prep, blending, diagnostic and predictive analytics, even AutoML and code-free data science. And the no-code, low-code self-service platform that we offer It requires no specialized skill sets. It's designed to put automation in the hands of all data workers. So it can automate analytics and data science pipelines. It can manage complex, data-centric business processes and deliver those actionable insights to stakeholders in every line of business. Thousands of organizations across the globe use Alteryx to deliver quick wins and those high-impact business outcomes. In fact, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about what I mean there with an example.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all right, Brad?
Absolutely.
I'll just keep going. So, I'd love to tell you about one of our customers, IQVIA. They're a global clinical research organization. With Alteryx, they're driving material savings and quality improvements by insourcing financial processes that were previously outsourced. So this is helping them standardize, simplify, and automate global financial shared services at this super acquisitive company, right? They're continually integrating additional IP with Alteryx Analytics automation. They have launched more than 100 automated processes and more than 200,000 reports with Alteryx. And as a result, they've seen something like 70% quality KPI improvements and a 40% net annualized savings from insourcing and that automation I mentioned of their financial processes. And what's best, we think a lot about the personal impact at Alteryx. And the VP of Global Financial Shared Services at IQVIA, they've told us that Alteryx has opened so many doors for people. They say that they've combined and promoted people in roles within shared services more in the last 2 years than in the last 5 combined. And that's really the beauty of APA, right? Analytic process automation. It accelerates digital transformation for organizations and enables knowledge workers to achieve more quickly with their data and their careers.
Interesting. How do you describe or articulate, I should say, your value proposition to the market?
Yeah, because there's so much in it, right? It can be challenging to unpack quickly. Well, ultimately, right, Alteryx Analytics Automation, it creates meaningful impact in organizations in a number of different ways through that single unified platform for analytics and data science, right? It's all about automating complex and tedious business processes. Our customers use Alteryx to harness their flood of complex data to quickly solve real-world problems. Now, that's going to allow for better, faster decision-making and, like I said, meaningful impact on the business. Now, to get specific, the Alteryx APA platform can deliver ROI in 5 key areas that transform business outcomes and change workforces for the better. So number 1, top-line growth. So Alteryx helps companies grow their revenue by optimizing things like pricing, volume, targeting, right, all across different lines of business. Number 2, bottom-line returns. With Alteryx, organizations can reduce those operational expenses and the outsourcing costs, right, like I mentioned with IQVIA, on a global scale. Number 3, efficiency gains. So Alteryx ramps up your team's productivity and speed with automation. And related to that is number 4, which is workforce upskilling. Alteryx helps companies enable their workforces to self-learn and self-serve, right? Achieve those self-service automated outcomes to deliver high-impact business results. And number 5 is risk reduction. Well, Alteryx organizations can proactively identify anomalies, breakdowns, and other business interruptions because we do have machine learning capabilities.
You've got a little something for everyone in the C-suite with that list. That's impressive. Yeah, that's terrific. What does your typical user base look like within a company?
And that definitely ties right into your comment. There's sort of something for everyone. And as a result, the Alteryx user base in a company is incredibly diverse. And that's because to achieve successful digital transformation, making data-driven decisions, it just can't be the responsibility of one persona or one role or one department. Not anymore, right? Every worker, they have the capacity to upskill with their data capabilities. And we've really been witnessing this convergence of analytic personas as the lines between data roles continue to blur. So data roles, and when I say data roles, I mean analyst. You might be a data integrator or a citizen data scientist or citizen developer, right? Those roles are all colliding with the traditional roles of data architect, data engineer, data scientist, application developer, and so forth. So Alteryx empowers all data workers regardless of pre-existing technical acumen, and it allows them to collaborate seamlessly across the enterprise, bringing those personas together.
I had a feeling we were going to hear the citizen word at some point. Earlier, you were talking about all data workers being empowered to get to these insights, so I'm not surprised to hear you say it. I do like citizen data scientists. That's something I aspire to be, maybe one day. So that's a very diverse set of constituents within your client base. How do you go about supporting so many different types of workers in learning Alteryx?
Well, we have a number of different ways that we enable our Alteryx customers. We have, first, an extraordinarily engaged community of over, I want to say now it's 200,000 registered users. And our customers, they love our platform. The Alteryx community is searchable, it's integrated into the platform, and it gives users access to the kind of the collective intelligence. Also, within the platform experience itself, Alteryx provides guided or assisted modeling and explainable AI, so you can get help as you're working. Plus, we offer a variety of what we call starter kits. So customers can access these kits with templatized workflows to get yourself started really quickly. Plus, customers have complementary learning tools and curriculums that are available from what we call our Alteryx Academy. Now, Academy is accessible through our Alteryx community, and Alteryx Academy, I understand, has enabled over 120,000 plus users to upskill and really earn what we call Alteryx certifications. We have 3 different levels of certifications, Brad. It's a super rich educational ecosystem, and I understand that something like 250 or 300 people every week participate in our weekly challenges that we host, and over 2.2 million interactive lessons have been completed so far.
Wow, interesting. Let's talk about the Blue Prism Alteryx partnership. How do Blue Prism and Alteryx complement each other and offer a more powerful end-to-end solution together?
Well, I have to say it's, to your word, powerful. I agree. This is a compelling and powerful joint value proposition that we've got here. And it addresses like a number of real pain points that we see in organizations everywhere. For example, many data workers, they have to gather data from a variety of different systems, right? They're bringing them together to work on them in Alteryx. Now, Alteryx has dozens of native connectors to a huge variety of modern ERP platforms, data warehouses, storage systems, and it supports the import of many dozens of different file types, right? Whether you're dealing with geospatial data in GIS or JSON or different Microsoft files, whole ton. However, and I don't know if this has been your experience, Brad, but it's certainly been mine, especially coming from physics back in the dark ages. Every organization also has those annoying legacy applications, right? Those things, they might lack APIs, or they can just make it a nightmare to export your data. And so that requires human intervention and repetitive manual work, which is definitely error-prone. It's not the best way to spend your people's time. It's not efficient. And this is where Blue Prism RPA really comes to the rescue, right? Providing Alteryx users the ability to extract data from or input data into new and legacy applications, things that are not API sources, websites, and more. It really provides access to data from areas of the business that were previously manual and just a real pain to get data from. And on the flip side of that, whether you're using RPA processes, you're often replicating human-driven tasks in places like spreadsheets to process data, right, as a part of the larger operation the bot is undertaking. Mm-hmm. And that approach, at times, it can get pretty brittle, right, pretty sensitive. And what I mean is the process can break if there are small or unexpected variations in the data or the file format the bot's working with. And in those cases, you need a system that's equipped to handle high fidelity, high volume data and analytics processes. And that's where Alteryx can come in and work in parallel with Blue Prism to automate complex analytics in a data-driven process, ensuring a more resilient and a more trustworthy result. And even better than that, Alteryx can add more sophistication by including machine learning models inside of RPA processes to enable intelligent, adaptive decisions to take place during runtime without human intervention.
Well, that sounds pretty good. All that being said, what excites you the most about the Blue Prism Alteryx partnership?
So much to be excited about here. So with the combined power of the Alteryx analytic process automation platform and Blue Prism robotic process automation, right, APA plus RPA, businesses can enable true end-to-end process and analytic automation. So this joint solution, it lets you maximize the value of your data by extending analytic automation with intelligent RPA to make it easy to get actionable information for improved decision-making and smarter business outcomes. Now, that includes things like automating the extraction of data, right? From I mentioned those hard-to-reach legacy systems or non-API sources, so you can actually get insights and accelerate the delivery of those insights, the predictions the business needs into the systems that are used to improve and accelerate outcomes. You can quickly build impactful business solutions with, I mentioned, those pre-built solution starter kits and reusable analytic and RPA building blocks. That's saving time and money with an end-to-end workflow orchestration engine with bidirectional communication between RPA and analytics automation. And this approach empowers the entire organization to drive operational success, right, with a scalable, flexible, augmented analytics automation solution across data-driven processes, reducing error, freeing employees from the mundane, and automating high-volume manual tasks while quickly sourcing complex data for analysis. I mean, really, I'm on my soapbox here now. The sky is the limit when you combine RPA with APA.
Yes, you have convinced me. So thank you for that answer. I did do some development in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm kind of dating myself here. And I can guarantee you there are COBOL 2 programs that I wrote that are still being used today in retail companies and banks, what have you. So as you were talking about hard to get information, I was thinking about those applications that have my name on it. I'm sure they're out there. But in general, for me personally, I'm most excited about the ability to put insights into action in real time, whether that means emailing or texting a human to act on something immediately or updating enterprise systems without human intervention in a way that reduces risk or improves customer service or improves profitability. I just think that's remarkable. And I think that's an untapped area in the whole realm of intelligent automation. I'll get off my soapbox now and ask you another question. Can you share just a few use case examples involving Alteryx and Blue Prism working together?
Yeah, sure. We've actually seen a number of banking institutions leverage Alteryx and Blue Prism together to help facilitate their own digital transformation. So there's a couple ways it works. It often starts with Blue Prism RPA extracting data from those older legacy apps, your COBOL app, your DOS prompt, you name it. And those programs right? They've historically required somebody uses the interface. There's no API available. And so the RPA bots, they interact with the legacy app. They get the data. And then they provide the data to Alteryx, which then carries out this huge variety of analysis and different automated workflows. Now, that can include things like applying customer insight to offer relevant products and services, do things like assess risk, and improve customer experience across different channels. Some have even enriched customer data with things like location intelligence to determine market areas' potential or optimize their branch and their ATM networks and improve their cash management. We've also seen processes originate in Alteryx as well, where Blue Prism RPA receives data from an Alteryx analytic workflow, and the RPA bot inputs the data back into the legacy application. So those insights can be operationalized because, to your point, Brad, no one is going to tear out your circa, 1990 app. It's been working for that long. Nobody wants to upset the process. And that's a part of digital transformation. We can't just throw everything out and make it a big, heavy side transformation for everyone to say, you know what, the old tools are all gone. You have to find a way to integrate and balance. And RPA is so powerful because you can bring along those deeply embedded, hard to replace existing applications and solutions. You don't have to rip and replace if you've got RPA.
Very true. So what about a specific customer story, one that's in the public domain? Do you have one of those that you could share?
Sure, yeah, I do. Question for you, Brad. Do you like chicken sandwiches?
I love chicken sandwiches, but only from one particular restaurant.
Oh, really? You know, that's funny. I'm curious whether we have an overlap here. You may have heard of them. My story is about Chick-fil-A. Is that your chicken restaurant of choice? No way.
We've hit it. We've hit the gold mine.
Okay. I love that. So for sure, this will resonate with you big time because they're wonderful at what they do. Chick-fil-A has been so innovative. So they are a great example of the kind of success that businesses can achieve with analytics process automation. Now, for those of us who are not Brad, who have been living under a rock, who don't know who Chick-fil-A is, they have more than 2,000 locations in the U.S. alone, and they are a quick service chicken restaurant chain, and they have experienced decades of successful expansion. And they're a continual industry award darling. They keep winning awards for customer service and customer satisfaction. There are people like you, Brad, all over the place that only want a Chick-fil-A sandwich. And they've really been known for a long time for that innovative, out-of-the-box thinking, right? They were actually the first quick-service restaurant chain to enter shopping malls. Can you believe that?
That is amazing.
It's not even, it's a given now, but they were the first to do it. And so these are the kind of thinkers they've got at Chick-fil-A, and they wanted to build on this record of innovation by launching a new customer loyalty program. But their analytics staff had this really tough task of trying to build consensus and buy-in across all of the different internal departments that would have to contribute to create a truly seamless loyalty program execution, right? Chick-fil-A had expanded and grown all over the place. And so that left data in a lot of disconnected pockets in the org, right? You couldn't get at it unless you had help from IT, and different departments were using different data tools and they couldn't join their data from different sources together. So rapidly processing the large volumes of data necessary, it wasn't going to happen without writing an awful lot of code. But they were committed. They really wanted a cohesive loyalty program that honored the brand that people love. And so the decision makers at Chick-fil-A, they agreed to work together to develop this app-based loyalty program. They called it Chick-fil-A One. Now, however, delivering a great customer experience while using the app, it really depended on addressing Chick-fil-A's legacy analytics tools, right? Really finding a solution that could help operationalize the app's pretty rigorous modern analytics needs. According to the supply chain manager at Chick-fil-A, they'd been holding it together by writing manual SQL scripts and sending Excel files via email. I mean, the pilot program was pretty scrappy, and they realized that with Alteryx, the Chick-fil-A analysts could build out the better customer personalization aspects themselves, right? Like how it is that they give free food to customers. And it really made sense to them to have the people who already know the financials or already know the customer and understand the expected response, have them, the experts, build out those aspects, right? The people on the front line, that's where the information is. And so by introducing Alteryx, the analytics team could apply the knowledge from the franchisees directly into the application. And we're talking about, this looked like manipulating billions of customer records within existing tools, within existing infrastructure, and filtering down to just the data that was required for pertinent reports, for visualizations. And they don't have weeks to turn this stuff around, right? In the modern world, I don't know about you, but using applications like Grubhub or Postmates, you expect things in minutes. And so they work to get efforts taking mere hours instead of the weeks that they had to deal with before with the existing company servers and really limited analytics operations and options. So being able to empower both the data analysts and the line of business users to quickly perform their own analytics really took the pressure off every department that was involved in this cross-organizational effort of bringing Chick-fil-A One, that loyalty program, to market. And it ultimately helped it move from a concept to reality in just, I want to say, 2 months. And the team's work in developing the loyalty program was instantly rewarded because Chick-fil-A One became the most downloaded app during its first 2 days in the Apple Store. It got huge positive attention from customers and the press at the same time. It was an incredible success for them.
What a great example. And who doesn't love Chick-fil-A? I mean, come on.
I know. There's so much in their product and their customer relationships to admire. In fact, if it's all right with you, I know I'm bending your ear a bit, but I have another Chick-fil-A story I'd like to share.
Oh,
is that okay?
Absolutely.
Great. I promise I'll summarize this a bit more quickly.
Okay.
But I'd love to showcase how Chick-fil-A was able to leverage the power of Alteryx and Blue Prism together.
Oh, very nice.
So let's
you get extra credit for this one.
Thank you. I know my audience here. So pivoting over to a different part of the business, the Chick-fil-A tax department. So a little bit less glamorous than launching a new loyalty application, but critically important to success in the business. The tax department at Chick-fil-A had been spending a huge amount of its time. We're talking 80% of its team's time was going straight into data preparation, right? They had very little room for analysis or for validation. In fact, their leader of tax technology reached a point where they knew there had to be a better way for the team to crunch their tax data and really take advantage of it. Instead of having to run the same, let's say, SQL query over and over, they were really looking for a tool that would let other individuals within the tax department access the data, right? So naturally, Alteryx became a part of the equation. But, you know, I know you've got experience with code here, Brad. I don't know if you've ever worked with accountants. The number of data sources that you have to leverage in tax reporting is immense, and you are often working with older systems. And the thing about working with Alteryx, you do still have to get the data into Alteryx in order to do the analysis work. And so the team was also looking to automate the process of getting the data into Alteryx and really moving information from the company's ERP system into Alteryx, which would eliminate the need for those valuable, tax professionals to manually have to input the data, right? Clawing back even more time into their days. And so what Alteryx does is it can process that tax data very quickly, very effectively, and then hand it back to the Blue Prism bot, which then sends emails to different parties who need to know what was done with the tax data, right? That saves huge amount of time for the team because it eliminates multiple different manual steps. And so the analogy actually that the Chick-fil-A team uses is that Alteryx is the brains of the workflow, and Blue Prism is the hands feeding in the information. And let's be real, if we didn't have hands and couldn't manipulate the world, we could have all the thoughts we wanted, we wouldn't be making much of an impact.
Well, thank you for that addition. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And it's been a tremendous pleasure speaking with you today. I really appreciate your time and your thoughts. There's a lot to be excited about with the Blue Prism Alteryx partnership. At Blue Prism, we love to equip our digital workers with what we call intelligent skills. And through the Alteryx partnership, this additional intelligent skill around BI and analytics and data is a whole new dimension that we're really, really eager to take advantage of. So thank you again, and be well.
Excellent. Thanks for your time today, Brad. We're so excited to partner with Blue Prism.
Thanks for tuning in to Transform Now. For more insightful discussions on digital transformation and more, check out our podcast channel where you'll find all of our previous episodes. To make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast player. And if you like what you heard, please leave us a review. For more information about digital transformation and the future of work, check out blueprism.com to learn how Blue Prism's digital workforce is enabling enterprise transformation now.